Paul Rubens has finally done something different with their 24 half pan watercolor sets. I'm very excited to show it to you. Truthfully, I love Paul Rubens palettes, but at this point I keep receiving new variations of just a very basic color story. And while I have been loving them, I don't necessarily find all of the launches exciting, but this one has some very fun colors. This is the Paul Rubens Floral palette. There are 17 new colors and 7 repeated colors from previous sets, which I will mark on the screen, but they are A233, B252, D115, E290, B193, C183, and A336. A little description from the product listing is that these are ultra pure pigments, unmatched color clarity that remains vivid even when mixed, transparency and tinting that has exceptional clarity and strong coloration for easy layering and blending, highlight fastness and durability, extra fine gum Arabic formula which enhances mixability, light fastness, and performance, and lastly a wide floral spectrum, 24 floral hues for versatile expressions from subtle to bold. In this video, I want to swatch these colors for you, compare them to my other palettes briefly, and then paint a watercolor piece with these paints. I want to show you the comparison with my other Paul Rubens palettes. I have videos of all of these palettes up on my channel, but I wanted to show you a quick comparison of the color story of this set versus my other sets. I definitely think these colors are brighter than the traditional color story I've seen with my other palettes, even not Paul Rubens. Definitely enjoy these strong, punchy colors. They're very inviting to use. I was sent these watercolors by Paul Rubens for review purposes, but they didn't ask me to say anything nice about them, and I will, as always, tell you my full, honest opinions, good and bad. For me, at this point, I have high expectations of Paul Rubens paints because they have already set a pretty high standard for their products, especially for their relatively low price range in relation to their quality. And that is the standard that I am judging these paints by. I really think this is a lovely palette, but I want to be honest about some stuff that I don't like in this palette, which are particularly the browns. I do like the last color, A336, but I do find that the last 3 shades are all pretty much identical. They have this same pigment PBR7 as the base, and there's nothing very exciting about these browns. I also don't like the color B276. I reached for it often in my painting process for this painting because I love a burnt sienna color, but truthfully I don't think this one is that great. It didn't really wow me. I definitely like a bolder and punchier burnt sienna color, and this one almost felt gummy in terms of the pigment to binder ratio. That being said, the actual watercolor properties and qualities weren't gummy or hard to blend on the paper, but I just didn't love the feeling that I had using this specific color. I generally like warmer browns, so I didn't really find these last 3 browns very exciting personally. I would have changed 2 of the last 3 into something maybe a little bit warmer, or maybe a black. That being said, I don't think a black is necessary for this palette because there are plenty of very rich dark colors that could be mixed into a black. Other than 3 of the last colors, I think the rest of the colors are nice and provide a great variety to this set. If I was to change out any colors, I am missing a warm red in this palette, and I would have replaced the color A233 with a warm red. I know that you can mix a warm red with any of these shades very easily, but if I was nitpicking, I would rather have an additional red rather than 4 yellow, 2 yellow-orange shades. But that is just me. I don't use yellow very often, and I find it to be kind of an overpowering color in my pieces, so I'm honestly just good with 1 yellow in my palette, and that's it. This set costs $41.99, which is nice for 24 colors. The other Paul Rubens palettes are the same price, so it's nice to have a price consistency in the variety of palettes offered by Paul Rubens. I wish the case was a little bit more thematically aligned with the florals concept, since it's the same color pink as the other vivid color set and I really can't distinguish them without opening them. I can definitely add stickers on top of the cases to tell them apart, but as we've seen with some of the other Paul Rubens watercolor launches, they've had some fun case designs that are very unique and luxe feeling, and so that would have been nice to see with this palette as well. But that being said, pink is a cute color, and I don't mind in terms of sustainability that they're just using the same cases as their regular vivid color set. I personally really enjoy this color story. It's nice to have the option to paint with such punchy colors, and in my personal opinion, I prefer this palette to the OG 24 color Vivid set. Not that that one is bad, but I like this one more in terms of the color offerings, the color story. I really enjoy the greens in this palette, even if I didn't use them very much in my piece. I love them and I really want to use them more. I also love the Periwinkle A116 color. I used it quite a lot in my piece and absolutely love that kind of color in my palette, so I'm very excited to have it in this watercolor set. I think between this palette and the YouLan palette, I think I would pick between the two depending on the type of painting and color palette for the piece. I'd use this palette for something a little bit brighter and bolder, and the YouLan palette for something that I could just mix traditional colors. For my piece, I kind of goofed on the colors, literally starting with the very first color I put down. I find it difficult to not dip into every color in a beautifully colorful palette like this one, so that's why I find my marker illustrations to be a little bit more cohesive. I can narrow down my color palette to a few markers and not stray from my palette easily, because that would require me getting up in the middle of the painting process to go pick out some extra marker colors. And that's always, I think, a downside to a larger palette like this one. While more variety is amazing, it is difficult to not pick a little bit from every little color because they are so beautiful and you want to use them all. I was kind of going for a colorful pastel pink and blue baking fairy vibe, but I don't think I achieved that look since I started off with a yellow and also a little bit of a warmer red for the raspberries instead of like a pinkish purplish red. I think it's okay. I don't think all of my paintings are going to be a success, but I really do love the end result of the bunny. I've been very much enjoying painting animals, and I'm very proud of myself for being able to get better at painting and drawing animals. This bunny is seriously so cute. I kind of want to make it a sticker or put it as my phone wallpaper. If you're interested in this watercolor palette and like the color story, I definitely recommend it for you. There are some beautiful bright colors to choose from, and I think if you were a floral artist, this would be very lovely to work with. I definitely don't just paint florals, but I do love these new colors that they included. It's also crazy that they have almost like an opera pink in this set for watercolors, which is A204. I used it a little bit through the piece and it is like a neon bright pink, which is pretty cool. Let me know if you noticed this new arrival on the Paul Rubens storefront. I will have this palette linked down in the description if you want to check it out, read a little bit more about it, or purchase it. I also have an Amazon storefront with my most used art supplies, the supplies that I use for my Gel X nails, etc., just things that I naturally do buy on Amazon. Let me know if you have any art supplies that you have been eyeing and would like me to try out, because I really love doing art review videos and trying out new supplies. I think it's very exciting to experiment, and I'm always happy to review something new. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe because I post new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.